We all know there are some champions that are so OP they need to be banned in every single game. If we know they are OP, and Riot knows it too, why do we still need bans? Hello everyone and welcome to another one of these Dev Talks. Since Riot is planning to change the banning system, I figured it's a good time to talk about it. We all take it as a part of the game, but what most people don't realize is that without it, League of Legends would lose interest of at least a third of its player base. So why is it? I don't want to talk about the tactical part of the banning system. Of course, in high-level League, bans are used against specific players to force them into picking champions they are not so good at. Or they just want to ban champions that are good against their prepared team comp. Of course, if you removed bans, then League would lose a lot of tactical depth. But that is not something that affects casual players. There are currently 133 champions in the game. Imagine you are a member of Riot's balance team. That's a lot of champions to push back in line. For some, it may seem like an easy job. If there is a champion that deals too much damage, nerf his abilities a little bit. Or if there is a champion that is too tanky, just take some of his health off. Well, in theory, it would work. But the problem arrives when you start using variables. And I am not talking about critical strike. Good example is Vel'Koz. In theory, he can kill anyone, even tanks, with one simple combo. That is, if he is able to land it. The balance team doesn't have to deal with just the damage numbers. They have to count in the probability of the players being able to land the skill shots. Let's say that if, as Vel'Koz, I hit my stun, Q and one proc of my W, that would be the average damage. For the purpose of demonstration, let's mark it as 100% of the damage the team is balancing him around. If I miss my stun, but I still land my Q and one proc of W, I drop to around 30% of the total damage, since my passive didn't even go off. But if I manage to land my stun, both W procs, followed by Q into another 2 W procs, that would get me to around 180% of the damage he was balanced around. From this you can see that at high ranks of League, Vel'Koz has huge potential, while at the low ranks he could be useless. There are more examples like this one. At high ranks, Darius is easily kited and outranged, while at low ranks he is unstoppable beast. Then there are champions like Lee Sin. People can do very basic stuff with him, as long as they hit their Qs, even in bronze. But as time went on, people figured out more and more clever ways of utilizing his kicks and ward jumps, turning him into one of the best junglers in the game in the pro scene for 3 years in a row. And that is why we need bans even in the casual side of League. Most people think that banning was originally implemented to get rid of champions that are straight OP, to make it easier for the developers. In truth, League was always decently balanced. It's just that different levels of players see different champions as OP. That's why it is necessary to have it in the game. Without it, anyone playing Blitzcrank would be able to get out of bronze and then cry in silver. Or get out of gold with Darius and then get dominated in platinum. In its own way, banning exists to keep the diversity of League at a stable level. Without it, you would either lose 50% of your player base because Blitzcrank is just too much to handle, or you would have to get rid of all skill shots. Now, what exactly is Riot going to change? Simply said, we are going to get 10 bans per game instead of our usual 6. But because the number of bans is really high, the whole system will have to change. Right now, we ban all of the champions before we start picking. This system works because there is no way of banning every champion in one role before the picking even begins. If we were able to ban 10 champions at the start, In theory, you could get rid of 10 AD carries, forcing your bot lane to pick out of meta combos. So what Riot will have to do instead is some form of banning in waves. An example would be letting the first 3 players ban at the start as usual, then let the first 3 players pick their champions, after which the 2 last guys ban another 2 champions, and then finally get their 2 picks. Any system similar to this one would work because all you need is a window to react to the bans. If you see 6 banned AD carries, you just quickly grab the good ones that were left out before they get banned too. This made me wonder, what if you ban all the supports that are considered to be in the meta? Would bot lane turn into an exciting lane again? And on that, I will have to end this video. I think it is important to say that we still don't have any confirmation on how the system actually works. Everything you heard here were just speculations based on what the smart way of doing things would be. If you have another idea of a system that would work, feel free to start a debate below. At that note, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to click the thumbs as you wish, follow me on Twitter or Facebook if you wish to talk to me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have so many more projects that I am currently working on, so don't go anywhere. And with that, as absolutely always, thank you come again. So first of all, some of you may have noticed that I have a new intro, and I want to thank both Dippen, who actually designed the text logo, and the Dark Tango for animating it, because let's be honest, he is a professional, he did a really good job, and I'm really happy to just have everything fleshed out. So for the many years to come, hopefully my channel will be in a better graphical condition. And as I said, I have a lot of videos that I am currently working on, so just sit tight because there is a lot to come. So see you in the next one.